We've managed to make it to the CONCACAF Champions Cup in each of our last two seasons. Sure, we've gotten bounced out in the first round, but that is neither here nor there. And we are well on our way to making it back for a third time. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But we could shortcut the entire league season if we win the Canadian Championship. We've made it to the semifinals. We're taking on the last MLS team remaining in the competition. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, but I think we are up to the task. And welcome back, everyone, to episode number 30 of The American Dream. I am Mr. Cellophane. Thank you very much for joining me on this Saturday morning. If you are, of course, watching this video on the day that it comes out, we are taking on Club de Foot Montreal in Major League Soccer. Their facilities are better than us. Their youth coaching is better than ours. And they have, over the last couple of years, been pretty high up there in the MLS Supporters Shield standings. That all being said, I think we've got a really good chance because we have a team that is firing on most cylinders. We've got good rotation. I love our bench. I feel comfortable with all 23 men on our squad, and I think we can make a good account of ourselves in today's action. And we will get to that in just a little bit. We do have some league action to cover since we last saw each other. Took us a little while, but in the 64th minute, Noah Verhoeven able to take the delivery across from Bertuz to make it 1-0, and then James Giffard scoring his first corner goal of the season, made it 2-0 as we took on Atletico Ottawa at home and beat them quite handily. We really had the momentum throughout the first half of this match. We just could not get on the scoreboard, but once we finally broke through, oh boy, did we break through. And we did a masterful job a few days later as we hosted York United. 47 seconds in off of a corner, James Giffard with his second of the season. We then picked up another set-piece goal. Beautiful feed by Isaiah Johnston to Mohamedou Kane to put it past Thomas Hasel to give us a 2-0 victory. We scored both of our goals in the first 16 minutes, and that was all we needed. A bit of a late onslaught from York. They did manage 11 shots in this match, but in the end, it was Stuart Murray who was absolutely fantastic in goal. James Giffard picking up man of the match. Sadly, though, the tables were turned as we headed across the country a few days later to take on Halifax Wanderers, sitting in second place at the time. Off of the post came right to Varga. He was able to put it home into the empty net in just the second minute. Then 5 minutes later, he would add his second, and very quickly, we were down 2-0, although I think that did take a bit of a fortuitous deflection right into his path. We were able to get one back as Shivani moved it up the right-hand side into the middle. Noah Verhoeven threw a mass of bodies to pick up the goal and bring us back within one. But sadly, even though we tried to throw the kitchen sink at them toward the end of the match, we were unable to find another. All the scoring happening within the first 13 minutes. We just couldn't break through. It was Halifax 2, Vancouver 1, which propelled Halifax back over us into first place on the table. We enjoyed a very brief stay at the top. I mean, starting off the season with a loss certainly didn't help, but 15 points after 8 matches, 2 points off of Halifax, puts us in a great position as we move toward the middle portion of the season. But none of that matters because we are here for the Canadian Championship, which we will get to in just a second because George Marks is now officially, at least partially, a Canadian citizen. He will no longer count against us as a foreign player. He picked up a dual nationality. He's retaining his U.S. passport, but he is calling Canada home as well. I'm just hoping that some of the other foreigners that we have on our roster, I'm looking at you, Juan Castillo, will take up the mantle of Canadian citizenship sooner rather than later. Here's going to be our starting lineup as we take on CF Montreal. It's going to be Murray in goal as George Marks is still recovering from his previous injury. I think it was a fractured wrist this time. Elanabi, Abatna, and Giffard will be our back three. It's going to be Castillo and Bertuz as our wing backs. Sargis and Isaiah Johnston in the midfield with Noah Verhoeven at the 10. Ryazantsev and Didier will be our strikers. And you may be thinking, Mr. Cellophane, it's always the same lineup. Well, generally when we come into matches like this that we do for live commentaries, they're the big ones, so we want to make sure that we've got our full lineup, but we have been doing quite a healthy amount of rotating throughout the season. Dante Campbell has come in. Matteo Schiavone has moved to the right wing. Nanwei has made a few starts. We've rotated a few things around to get time off for El Abani and James Giffard and Noah Abatna, honestly, on our back three. We've had Mohamedou Kane start in place of Ryazantsev. Alain Didier is pretty much the only one who has started most every match because he's young, he's fit, and he scores a lot of goals. So if we can get him out there, all the better. 25 minutes in and we get our first highlight of the match, and it's going for Vancouver FC. On the throw in Verhoeven. Bertuz is going to end up with it along the right wing. Now he does have a man on him into the middle. Shot is going to be blocked and cleared. Keiki to Garby to get things started going the other way for CF Montreal. 7 shots so far in the match. Not a single one, though, has hit the target. So we have to get a little bit more accurate. And James Giffard picking up a yellow card in the first minute. That's something we're going to need to keep our eyes on. Noah Abatna taking control. The ball played up to Sargis before he lays it back for Abatna. Playing it to the right wing, looking for Bertuz, but Jones is going to pick it off. Here comes Montreal the other way. Jones, from range, it's going to go over the crossbar. Murray ultimately does not need to make a save, and yet another shot that fails to hit the target. Throw in Verhoeven, playing it into the middle. Sargis up ahead, intercepted by Lapalainen. Sent forward, but once again in the possession of Vancouver FC. It's going back and forth a lot. Castillo, can he settle it down, please, and start to move the ball forward for us? I hope so. Sargis looking for Johnston. Lapalainen steps in the way. Vargas in control, looking for Keiki. Castillo, a beautiful defensive move, and he will recover for Vancouver. We've played just about 41 minutes. As the ball is chipped out, Johnston will head it forward. Verhoeven knocked away. Hugo Mora looking to get it into the box. Elanabi can only clear it as far as Garby. Keiki back for Garby. Garby will shoot, and he will find the back of the net. Ishmael Garby scoring from 20 yards out. I guess Murray was caught by surprise. We weren't expecting him to do that. I think he was anticipating maybe a pass across. I don't know, but not well played by Stuart Murray. Not really draping himself in glory in this one. And CF Montreal able to take a 1-0 lead late on in this first half with the very first shot on target of the match. I think ultimately we do have a chance to get something done in this match. CF Montreal making a change at the half. We opted to go with the same squad. We are dominating in quite a number of ways. Possession, XG. I would say shots on target, but no. Garby sending it in. Nice save by Murray off of the header. Played back out for Garby on that left wing. Looking to move it in. Sargis sweeps it away, but Jones will pick it up. And Montreal is buzzing as they win themselves another corner. We've hit the hour mark. We've got some tired legs out there. I'm looking at Castillo. I'm looking at potentially Sargis. Ryazantsev not having a great match. Neither is Alain Didier. So we're going to look to make changes very soon to our strike force as another shot comes in. Clatters off of the woodwork. Keiki, Castillo finally clearing it. Didier helping it along, but Sadler is there to recover for Montreal. Ball sent long in the path of Alain Didier, but Jones is going to get there first. Sailor, not Sadler. Sailor up for Saliba, playing it across. Keiki able to get there, and Montreal starting to exert their dominance in this match, which doesn't surprise me, but also surprises me as the ball played over. Elanabe misjudges it. Duke gets there into the middle. Camilo Vargas, his first goal of the season, and it is 2-0 in favor of Montreal. And we've got a massive hill to climb at this point, and I don't know if we are going to be able to do anything about it. 2 changes will be made as we head towards 25 minutes remaining, and we're going to go into a more attacking mode at this point. Abatna playing it for Mohamedou Kane. He's one of those guys that came on, feeding it for Nanwei. The other one, Kane, trying to curl it in off the far post. Now, Sava is going to get his hands on it, will knock it behind, so it's going to be a corner opportunity for Vancouver FC, which Nanwei is going to take. He did deliver on the James Giffard goal that we saw the highlight. This time, Giffard not getting enough on that header, and Sava able to intercept that one. Just about 15 minutes left to go, but the final third throw in for Pertuz. He will send it, looking for Didier. It's too long, headed away. Nanwei will track it down. Play it back for James Geffrard. Still on that yellow. I was incorrect. He picked that up in the 11th minute. Still early, but not nearly as alarmingly early as I originally thought. Non-way for Mohamedou Kane trying to break through the defense across. Didier shoots and scores. 6th goal of the year for Alain Didier. Mohamedou Kane sending it into the middle, and it's Montreal 2, Vancouver 1. 2 additional changes we made with about 15 minutes left to go. We brought in Dante Campbell in place of Pertuz, who was feeling a little bit tired. We expect a lot of our wingbacks, so we wanted to make sure we got some fresh legs out there. We did the same thing with Hayden Sargis as we brought in Matteo Schiavone. Sava looking to send it long. Can't pick out his man. Played forward by Abatna. Johnston's got it. Didier will see the little position before dishing it off to Campbell. Up that right wing. Campbell. Still with acres of space. Into the middle. Mohamedou Kane, his shot is going to be blocked. And Laborda will get in front of that one, which will seed yet another Vancouver corner. Can we make something of this? James Geffrard is still in this match. He's kind of lingering around. Jones, though, is able to clatter that away as the corner kick came in just a little bit lower than we would have liked to have seen. Very attacking. We are also going to be demanding more of our team. 5 minutes added on, and I think we are going to, unfortunately, run out of time. I hate it when I am right. Garby and Vargas scoring for CF Montreal. We were able to claw one back in the 75th minute from Alain Didier, but ultimately, our efforts just fell a little bit short. Or did we? Because in a surprising turn of events, something I didn't realize, maybe I should have read the rules of the competition, but Vancouver FC have qualified for the next edition of the CONCACAF Champions Cup due to our performance in the Canadian Championship. It's the 3rd time that Vancouver FC have qualified for the competition, the 3rd time we have brought Vancouver FC into that competition, which is a far cry from where we were at the end of our first season when we came this close to getting sacked. Well, that takes a little bit of pressure off our regular season performance. Not that we intend to rest on our laurels, mind you, as we get back in the league action against Calgary FC. And off of the goal kick, Alain Didier blasting a howitzer from 25 yards out to put Vancouver FC up 1-0. He would add a second as Isaiah Johnston squares it in front. He's got plenty of net to shoot at to make it 2-0 Vancouver. Sadly, in stoppage time in the second half, Calgary FC would get one back as Boavida able to easily just walk in between the defenders and put one home past Stuart Murray, but it was too little, too late. We managed 28 shots on goal in this match as we absolutely dominated Calgary. We've got them coming up again in just a couple of weeks. Hopefully we get the same result because we're doing that one live. And looking in on the results of the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, I don't feel so bad about getting bounced out of the first round because Inter Miami ultimately went on and won the whole damn thing. We hope to keep things going at home against Forge FC, our personal rivals, and I think we rushed George Marks back a little bit in this one because he's unable to stop Ferguson's shot from about 12 yards out. Forge took a 1-0 lead. This is very reminiscent of the match against Halifax as a back post header by Campbell made it 2-0. We got one back later on in the 69th minute. Pertuz feeding it across and makes its way to Mohamedou Kane, who easily chips it past Kolela. But unfortunately, we just did not have enough time or enough in the tank. We turned it on toward the end of the match, but it was slightly too little, too late, and we fell at home by a score of 2-1. Now, of note, we did rest Alain Didier in that last match, taking on Valor FC on the road, team sitting at the top of the table at the time, and Didier manages to slot it home. The only goal of the match, we held them to 2 shots on goal. They did not get a single one on target, so George Marks really had nothing to do in this one. Ultimately, a good, hard-earned 1-0 victory. And that goal for Didier, his 7th of the year, puts him second on the top goal scorers lists in the league. He also has the top average rating. 4 assists for Isaiah Johnston, 5 for Pertuz. Alain Didier also named player of the match 3 times already, which puts him first on the list in the league. 3 clean sheets for George Marks, 2 for Stuart Murray make them among the league leaders. We're having a very good season. We've played 11 matches. We're sitting on the top of the table with 21 points, just slightly under that 2 points per match threshold that I think will definitely get us into that number 1 seed as we move our way into the playoffs. We're now 2 points ahead of Valor FC. We do have a game in hand on them. Pacific FC, though, do sit 3 points behind in 3rd place with a game in hand on us and 2 on Valor. So we'll see how everything shakes out. But we are taking on Calvary FC once again. Calvary does come into this one sitting in 6th place, just outside of those playoff positions. So they definitely have something to play for. We would like to maintain our spot at the top of the table. We are going to rotate the squad a little bit because, again, the matches come fast and furious. We have 9 or 10, if I'm not mistaken, in the month of May alone. We are at May 31st, though. The month is over. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have a whole ton of games come June, but that's for Monday's episode. We're going to kick off with a BC Derby against Pacific FC, by the way. Marks is going to be in goal. It's going to be a back 3 of Dozovic, Abatna, and Sargis. We're giving Sami Elanabi the day off. James Giffard is off on international duty with Haiti and is unavailable. Juan Castillo is also going to drop down to the bench. Nanway is going to start as our left wing back. It's going to be Juan David Pertuz on the right-hand side. Shivani and Johnston manning the midfield. Habibullah ahead of them playing the number 10. Riazantsev and Didier Mahamadou Kane did start that last match in place of Yevhan Riazantsev. So he is back in there just in case you keep thinking that we once again keep playing the same 2 strikers each and every match. We're going to be wearing our red and black stripes today. It's going to be fascinating. We are at home at Willoughby Community Park taking on a Calvary FC team who has come on a little bit of late, having won their last 2 matches in all competitions. We sit at the top of the table. We are tied on points with Pacific FC. A victory today will put us back in sole possession of 1st place. It's going to make it really interesting when we hit that BC Derby in Monday's episode. And we are underway at home against Calvary, managing the first shot on goal and the first shot on target, but somehow we got a shot on target with 0 XG. Oh, Dezovic coming that close off of the corner to giving Vancouver FC a 1-0 lead. What a beautiful delivery in. God, I miss James Giffard in situations such as that. Final third throw in, though. Nenway will get it back. Schiavone into the box, works at the Habibullah across Johnston to his right, Pertuz, moving it to his left foot, putting it on, and Holiday will ultimately at the end make a pretty easy save, but good ball movement, good action in the final third by Vancouver FC as we look to push it forward again. Habibullah getting it back off of the clearance, flipping it to the right side. Pertuz in for Johnston, touches it down, tucks it past Holiday for his 3rd goal of the year, and it's Vancouver 1, Calvary 0. Not a single opportunity through the first 18 minutes for Calvary FC on the throw-in. Disher looking back post. He's going to put that over everything. It's going to ricochet off of the post and stay in play. Cleared away. Downs in control. It's weird seeing Calvary in the black and us in the red. It's like Bizarro World. Free kick, Habibullah goes short with it, getting it back from Riazantsev. He'll push it up the left wing. He's got a guy running with him. He takes it deep into the middle, finds Yevhen Riazantsev for his 4th goal of the year. And I think it's been a good 5 or 6 games since Riazantsev has found the back of the net. So I am glad that he was able to bring his his scoring boots to the pitch today. Good pass inside by Habibullah. Riazantsev splitting through the defenders to give us a 2-0 lead. I honestly, up to this point, expected a bit more of a fight from Calvary FC. Sargis sending in the free kick. It'll be easily handled by Calvary as they look to move it forward. Lumping it toward the byline. George Marks is going to just sidle out to his left to gain control. Little bit of half-hearted pressure. He'll launch it long in the direction of Riazantsev. Abatna ultimately will come away with it. Schiavone. Nice pass through the middle to Johnston. He's got Didier in behind the defense. He'll be taken down. No call. Pertuz collects it into the middle. Henry able to clatter it away for Calvary as they look to start the counterattack. They have not registered up to this point, and I know the commentators curse. I'm just inviting it at this juncture. But up to this point, not a single shot on goal. The entire half, there's their first. Luckily, it was a rather tame effort from about 24 yards out. 45 minutes in the books, 11 shots to 1 in favor of Vancouver FC, but we are leading where it counts. 2-0 on the scoreboard, goals from Isaiah Johnston and Yevhen Ryazantsev to give us a well-deserved lead at home. Now watch, now that I brought attention to the fact that Calvary did absolutely nothing in that first half until the waning moments, they're just going to come out gangbusters in the second. Hopefully, I get proven wrong. Nice switch of play over to the right-hand side. Pertuz along the sideline. We'll drop it back to Johnston. A little space in the middle for Schiavone before he runs out of it. Johnston back for Schiavone. Hobby Bula turns, fires, and nicks the top of the crossbar. Ultimately, Holiday did not need to make a play, but 14-1, your shots on goal in favor of Vancouver. And as of right now, if things continue in this way, we are cruising to a very easy victory at home, which will cement our place at the top of the table. We are going to make a couple of changes with 20 minutes left to go just to get some fresh legs out there. We'll give Noah Botna a blow, although really Sammy Elanabi is the only option to bring him in. Hobby Bull is fine. Alain Didier will come out. Mohamedou Kane will take his spot, and Isaiah Johnston will cede his position to Dante Campbell. I mean, unless something happens in the last couple of minutes of this match, Calvary did not come to the party. What's the line from the Untouchables? He brought a knife to a gunfight. Yeah, that's what Calvary did. They managed just 3 shots on goal, not a single shot on target. So that's the second straight match where we have held our opposition to no shots on target, and George Marks hasn't had to do a ding-dang thing. Johnston and Ryazantsev are the difference. 2-0, your final score. Well, in the end, that was pretty easy. A couple of nice victories, back-to-back clean sheets. That makes me happy. Once again, we sit on top of the table by 3 points. Pacific FC has a game in hand. They are our next opponent. We are heading across town for yet another BC derby, and that is where we are going to pick up when I see you on Monday morning. If you like this video, make sure that you hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, or if you are brand new. And if this is your first Mr. Cellophane experience, welcome in. Watch everything else. I hope that you enjoy that as much as you have enjoyed this. Monday, more matches in the Canadian Premier League as we march our way towards the playoffs, which right now feels like a foregone conclusion. So we're going to move a little bit faster than we have. So a ton of football we're going to cover in Monday's episode. I hope to see you then. Until Monday, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.